Well, it looks like we're recovering out here. I got the heater running. My pump kind of works. I was able to bypass the filters and the spin down, and basically the only thing that it's going through is my softener, which is salting the hell out of the water. The rest of it, UV sterilizer and all that other stuff, I think froze up. So I've got the heater running in there. I hope it doesn't burn down my entire system. But the two expensive pieces and the softener are good, which is also an expensive piece. As you can see, snow's all gone. Everybody seems to be pretty happy, if a little wet. We have the car parked up here because we were using it, well, staging it in case we needed a lifeboat, basically. I don't know if 48 is as low as my thermostat goes, but in the brief periods of time that we had power while it was very cold, that's as cold as it went, and it was that temperature every single time. So I'm guessing it does not go below 48. Our fountain is still very interesting to the ducks. Clearly it's not too bad for them. I'm actually in a t-shirt, but it's definitely not t-shirt weather out here. But my clothes are washing. The only ones that I have that are suitable for the cold, and we anticipate another real good freeze tonight. Looks like somebody dug a heck of a nest down there, probably the geese. Almost everybody else was caught and placed in a cage, as I showed in some of the other videos. The color's a little off on that thing. I'm hoping it's not dead. I can't remember if the palm tree weathered the last snowstorm that we had, which was not really a snowstorm of any kind. It was just, it got a little wet while it was slightly below freezing, and we got a little bit of snow that didn't last till morning. This time, obviously, we got a real snowstorm. It actually looks like the lawn's fine. I'm pretty sure this is Bermuda, and I don't think Bermuda's precisely suited for freezing temperatures, but snow tends to insulate really well. And you can see that cactus that I had. What the hell are you focusing on, phone? Did not make it. In fact, neither did this one. Yep. And the one that I have next to the citrus trees over here also died. Last time we had some pretty good die-offs of pretty much all of the trees that do fruit of any kind, although I think the citrus trees did okay. The one we have now, that one doesn't look happy, but I don't know if that means it's going to lose its leaves and regrow them, or if it's worse. They actually, I haven't done anything special to them in the past, and they've lived through some pretty bad times. Just looking around, yeah, pretty much all the cactuses just got hammered. Actually, that does not look good at all. Yeah, that looks like freeze damaged leaves. They might not be okay. This thing, which I thought was maybe an avocado tree or something like that, definitely ruined its leaves. But this one actually had the same thing happen to it before, and we cut it back pretty aggressively then. You can actually see that stick right there, which doesn't have any leaves on it or anything. That was a casualty of last time we trimmed it back. That thing and that thing, also same situation, didn't do so good. Looks like the oleanders may have had the same thing happen to them. Got that weird color to them, like they may have got frost damage real bad. Obviously the native plants don't seem to care at all, especially the like the live oaks and cedar. They don't seem to care whatsoever. But yeah, we made it. I don't think we lost any of the big birds. As far as waterfowl go, I'm positive. As far as chickens go, I actually don't know. I have a couple of them that don't really conform, and they run off down the hill, and I would say that they might be in dire straits. But I think I've counted them all. But my chickens tend to make more chickens on their own, and so my totals may be off. But a lot of them have been scratching around in the mud that's formed, and the rest of them, especially the roosters, are just kind of hanging out wherever they can stay dry while it melts here. Got a little fire going because we don't have trash service. It's really hit us hard. We have all our goats, and goats are all named, and they're absolutely pets, so that's good. They have been grinding up the ground here pretty bad, so I may need to skin the top of this off and throw down some kind of a rocky substrate. But it usually stays so dry here, I was just letting it be. Let's see what else. So yeah, we made it. I lost all my tropical fish, obviously. I have a couple of aquariums in my room, and we lost all our chicks, and the next hatch cycle too, which included 2 Muscovy eggs, which I may or may not find because the Muscovies have kind of gotten wise, and I think they're hiding them somewhere. And of course they weren't able to sit on them because I captured all the Muscovies. So we may not have baby Muscovies this year. I don't know when they stop laying, or if they do, if they just keep laying until they can have a nest. I believe that I read that they're not prolific layers. They're kind of like geese. They lay up to 30 eggs and then that's it. Although I do have 7 females, so we might be good there. And if that big dugout that I got a picture of or little video of happens to be Scarlet's nest, then that's a good sign, because then Tom can get aggressive with the dogs and other birds and me, and she can lay some eggs and sit on them, and we can have goslings, which would just be awesome. So here's hoping to that. That would be kind of a nice thing to have happen now that the worst has kind of passed us. Oh, there's my kitty cat. She's in the window. Hey, Milkshakes. Milkshakes is my polydactyl mutt cat. Yes, she's huge. She's not fat, but she's probably 20 pounds. She's a very, very large cat. I think she might be Maine Coon or something crossed with that. They have thumbs too, so, and she's got thumbs, and she's got like 7 toes on her back feet. It's crazy. I think cats are supposed to have like 18 toes or something like that, because they only have so many on the back, but she's got 24 or something. So yeah, looks like we're recovering, although it's projected that we're still going to get an unbelievably cold night tonight, like 16 I think they said it was. The worst it was when we got the snow a few nights ago before the power cut. I measured 11 degrees at the gate, so even if it does get down to that temperature, that's still going to be bad, and we may lose power again. So we are washing clothes, taking showers. I've got the water going, although I had to bypass my filtration, like I said. So it's looking like we're gonna need to get to recovering. Big Bad John is still in the garage. His tires feel like maybe they're solid rubber, so I'm leaving him alone in there. It doesn't seem like we got any leaks. Actually, let's go look at Big Bad John. All right, so here's Big Bad John in the garage, and my car too, because I have to plug mine in. So Big Bad John seems to have lived, done okay, but our tires are unbelievably solid and they're sweating, so I'm guessing that they did freeze. But it looks like they're okay. I don't see any problems. I'm going to review this, of course, later and see if maybe I'm missing something, but I'm going to take the sweating to mean that there's frozen water in there, even if it's just a crust around the outside or right at the top. As you can see, let's see. Yeah, sweating really hard up here, but Once you get in this region, not so much. Let's take a look at the other one. Hey Tom, I'm in the garage, buddy. Here, I'll click on a light. Yeah, and it's really apparent on this side, so I'm thinking this is air and that's water, and then it did freeze. Again, don't see any problems though, so I mean, I bet if I took the pressure right now, I would have a little bit of a surprise though. Yep. So he's gonna sit in here until it's so warm outside that there is no way that there's any chance of damaging Big Bad John further, and or at all. And look at that, got the ROPS down. Isn't that crazy looking? So even with the ROPS down, I was a little worried I wasn't gonna make it. I have probably the smallest garage door possible. It's actually a little sketchy to take my wife's car in here. It's one of the wider ones, and she has to fold the mirrors in. I don't, but I have zero clearance on at least one side. Big Bad John, left or right was fine, but whew, we were close, but ROPS were down, so we were fine. Yes, so we'll probably re-grease really good after this, because I don't know if that's a thing I am explicitly supposed to do, but it's something that I'm going to do anyway. He did have a lot of expansion and contraction. I lit this thing right here up in an attempt to make the garage a little warmer. I don't have soffit on any side of this thing, and this thing is highly porous. It's actually got vents and everything, and they drywalled it, which is interesting. I mean, you would drywall something, but you wouldn't throw soffit on it, or even just seal it up. I mean, why not? It is a garage, and you have vents and those things, more vents. I've got tons of those all the way around, so why not? This is not a sealed garage by any stretch of the mind. So yeah, I'm thinking Big Bad John's out of the working state for probably 3 or 4 days until we get up in the 60s during the day, and we get all that ice melted out of the tires, which is fine. I really don't need him right now for anything, I don't think. Cleanup looks like it's going to be mostly waiting for the water to dry and the snow to melt. Not in that order. But yeah, so we survived, most of us anyway, and we do have power right now, obviously, but my brother's house does not have power, and I'm thinking that I won't have power tonight, and I have been looking into generators for the 3-point on this thing, about $1,000. Previously when I looked at that, I was like, that's completely unreasonable, because I can get a regular generator that burns its own fuel that is a separate piece for about that, but I don't know. I'm gonna actually have to compare their outputs now, so I wonder if they make some kind of a plug that lets me plug power back into my house. I'm gonna have to look into that too, especially after this. We don't always lose power, but we've probably got the weakest power grid I've ever had, and I went to Iraq twice, in Africa, and I'm here to tell you that their power grids were better than the one that I'm currently in, which is just sad. So we'll see.